Hey, I'm working on a RX350 and I'm attempting to remove the timing cover. So first thing you gotta do is remove the water pump, and you can obviously see the chain is extremely loose. And then there is a chain back over here which is ridiculously loose. If I can get to it. Anyway, it's right there. It's just sloppy. And it jumped timing one tooth over. And luckily it didn't bend the valves. I've already checked those. It's 5% leak down on all cylinders, so we're good there. I replaced the main intake and exhaust gears, that's what they call it. And I did the same, I'm going to do the same with the back one. This one just got all shredded up and the back chain exploded and just sent shrapnel all through the area and broke off all the gears, and the chain broke in half. You can see it right there. Never seen that before in my life, but there you go, what's left of it. All right, so if you want to take the water pump out, you're gonna have to jack the engine up, and it's not that big of a deal. All you gotta do is unbolt the main motor mount right there. Then, don't let anybody tell you you don't have to undo that one, but you do have to undo that one as well. That's the back end motor mount, or it's towards the front fans. So just take those out. And also, obviously, this section over here, that's got to be taken out. Now, there's a big section right here that bolts to the motor itself. That's got to be removed. In order to do that, jack the engine up. So when you're jacking it up, just put a piece of wood up underneath the oil pan and jack it up until these threads are gone and the mount itself is on top of those threads. That's when you know it's enough. Now, once that's been taken off, you can take the pulley off first and then take off all the bolts, and then you can take it off. And just remember, there's a couple of bolts here that have to be, whenever you put it back together again, there's Loctite or some kind of water preventative. It's some kind of caulking on here. I'm sure Toyota sells it, but you got to put it on there, otherwise it's going to leak through and you'll have a water leak. So it's only the 12mm bolts. Okay, now my main section here, which was a really hard thing to do. I was really confused about it, but no one told me how to do it, and there's absolutely no videos on YouTube about it, just virtually zero. So my problem was I was trying to get the power steering pump out of here, and there's two screws and they're really obvious. There's a tang, if you can see it right there. Mine broke. I have to get it welded. I'll put it back together and then drive it up to a welding shop and have it welded. Now, the problem with this pump right here, it won't come out. So what you got to do is take this bar right here, which is the sway bar, and you've got to, this goes normally all the way down, and this section right here bolts into here on both sides. So you got to take both wheels off and unbolt that bolt right there and hold it with a counter holder with a Allen head key. And then once both of these are undone, just take the whole bar, lift it up. Sorry guys. Of course. So once that's done, you can lift this bar up out of the way and that power steering pump will come out. But you might have to do a little bit of finagling here and there, which is no big deal. And then on all these cars, they have got the VVT oil supply, which is mated on with a rubber hose. And that's got to be replaced unless you want to go down the highway around 70 and then have that go out. That's going to ruin your engine completely. And I've already taken it out. So I'm trying to get into here. Oh no. Don't stop recording. It's right up. You can barely see it, but it's the hole is on the side of the block. And that's not it. There it is. That's the hole right there where you got to put the, or take out the drain or the banjo bolt. And the supply line goes from that point, it goes up and around, and then it goes up into the valve cover, and it's got another banjo bolt up there. But right in the middle, it's got this awful piece of rubber hose that, yeah, it works if you want to take the cylinder head off, and if you want to take the, you want to take and have it easier to maneuver around. But here's the bolt, or here's the that rubber hose that breaks at 70 miles an hour, 80, and then it just breaks off, and you lose all your oil down the road within 15-20 seconds, and your engine disintegrates. Now, what I've got is a brand new one. Sorry, I should have this already made up. Here's the brand new one without the rubber hose on there. And the part number is that. So go ahead and put that on if you can. I would suggest it. The only problem is with the taking that power steering pump out. And like I showed you, it looks really difficult and it's a bear, but it will come out just as long as you take that sway bar and you swing it up. And here's the opposite side. As you can see, I took it off from that point, and the sway bar is right here. That's it. So just take that off and swing it up out of the way, and it'll come out. All right, guys, I hope I did some help here. I can post some more videos later on about how to do all this. And I'm not too sure if I showed you that chain, but that chain is completely loose. It shouldn't be that way. And here's the opposite side. I put this one on already. I took it on last week thinking that that's going to help the situation, but then it jumped time, and obviously that pretty much threw everything out of whack. But luckily it was only one tooth, and I checked the compression and it's all good. And that's what it should be like, and you should have spring tension all the time. Even without oil pressure, it still should have some kind of tension on it. And when you start the engine up, it's really going to tighten up, and you'll be good. But that's it so far. Any questions, I'll answer it for you if I can. My first time doing this ever. I've never seen this engine before in my life. So, and obviously you can take the valve cover off. It is possible, but it's tight. You'll see other videos from other people how to take the intake manifold off and the air plenum, which they say it's really, really hard, but nope, it's really, really easy. So, except that one bolt in the back. But it's very manageable. All right, that's it.